Hello, my friend. Welcome to Daily English Whisper. I'm very glad you are here with me today. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders relax. You don't need to rush. My name is Alex, and I'll be with you during this episode. Today's episode is called Beginner Motivation for English Learners. And this episode is especially for you if you sometimes feel tired, stuck, or unmotivated with English. Maybe you started learning English with energy. You were excited. You practiced every day. But then, life happened. Work, family, stress, lack of time. And slowly, motivation became weaker. If this sounds familiar, I want you to listen carefully. You are not lazy. You are not undisciplined. And you are not bad at English. You are human. Many English learners believe a dangerous myth. They believe motivation must come before practice. They think, when I feel motivated, I will study. But real improvement works in a different way. Motivation does not come first. Action comes first. And today, I want to help you change how you see motivation. This episode will help you stay consistent. It will help you continue, even on low energy days. And it will help you improve your English without pressure. You don't need big goals. You don't need strong discipline. You don't need long study sessions. You need something much simpler. You need a kind routine. Many learners stop because they try to do too much. They say, I will study 1 hour every day. And when they miss one day, they feel guilty. Then they stop completely. But English is not built with intensity. English is built with consistency. Small actions. Repeated calmly. Every day. Let me say something very important. You don't need to feel motivated to practice English. You practice English to create motivation. This is the central idea of today's episode. Motivation grows when you show up, not before. Let that idea stay with you. Many people are waiting for the right moment. The right time. The right energy. But that moment rarely comes. Progress comes from showing up tired. Showing up busy. Showing up imperfect. And still doing a little. In this podcast, I will speak slowly. I will repeat ideas. And I will guide you step by step. You don't need to understand every word. You don't need to take notes. Just listen. And when you feel comfortable, repeat with me. This is not a test. This is a conversation with yourself. Let's do a very short practice now. Listen to this sentence. I don't need strong motivation to improve my English. Now repeat it slowly. I don't need strong motivation to improve my English. Very good. Even saying that sentence is already practice. Many learners feel alone in their journey. They think everyone else is improving faster. But you don't see the full story. Most fluent speakers felt tired many times. Most fluent speakers wanted to quit at some point. The difference is simple. They didn't stop forever. They stopped and came back. That is what consistency really means. Not never stopping, but always returning. This episode will help you return to English. Gently. Without shame. Without pressure. If you are listening while walking, keep walking. If you are resting, keep resting. English can be calm. English can be soft. You don't need to fight it. Now, let's continue. In the next part, we will talk about what motivation really is, why it disappears, and how you can rebuild it in a simple, realistic way that fits your life. Stay with me. You are exactly where you need to be. Now, let's talk calmly about motivation. Many people think motivation is something strong, something powerful, something that pushes you. But real motivation is usually very quiet. It doesn't shout. It whispers. Motivation is not a feeling that stays forever. It comes and goes. Some days, you feel excited. Some days, you feel tired. Both days are normal. The problem is not that motivation disappears. The problem is that we expect it to stay. When motivation leaves, many learners think something is wrong. They think, I lost my motivation, so I should stop. But stopping is not the answer. Understanding motivation is the answer. Motivation is like energy. It moves. It changes. And the secret is not to wait for motivation. The secret is to work with low motivation. Let me explain. When motivation is high, practice feels easy. You don't need discipline. But when motivation is low, that is the most important moment. Low motivation is not a problem. It is an invitation. An invitation to practice in a smaller way. Instead of 1 hour, you practice 5 minutes. Instead of a lesson, you repeat one sentence. That small action sends a message to your brain. I still care. And that message slowly rebuilds motivation. Let me say this clearly. You don't need to feel ready to practice. You practice, and readiness grows. Now, let's do a small practice together. Listen. Even on low days, I can do a little. Now repeat. Even on low days, I can do a little. Good. That sentence is very important. Now, let's talk about why many English learners lose motivation. One big reason is pressure. Pressure to be fast. Pressure to be perfect. Pressure to sound native. Pressure kills motivation. When English feels heavy, your mind wants to escape. So we change the relationship. English becomes light. Short. Gentle. You don't push yourself. You invite yourself. Another reason motivation disappears is comparison. You see others speaking well. You see progress on social media. And you think, I am slow. But you are not slow. You are human. Everyone has a different rhythm. English is not a race. It is a walk. And walks are slow by nature. Let's practice another sentence. Listen. My speed is okay for me. Now repeat. My speed is okay for me. Very good. Motivation also disappears when learners think English must be perfect. But perfect English does not exist. There are many accents, many styles, many ways to speak. Your English does not need to sound like anyone else's. It needs to sound like you. When you accept this, motivation feels safer. Now, I want to share a very simple idea. Motivation grows when practice feels successful. Not big success. Small success. Finishing a sentence. Repeating one phrase. Showing up for 2 minutes. These are wins. And wins create motivation. Let's do another small practice. Listen. I celebrate small progress. Now repeat. I celebrate small progress. Good. In Daily English Whisper, we focus on this idea. English practice should feel possible. Not impressive. Not intense. Possible. If you can do it today, you can do it tomorrow. That is consistency. Now, before we move on, let me ask you something gently. Do you feel pressure with English sometimes? Do you feel tired of trying? If yes, you are not alone. And if this episode helps you feel calmer and more hopeful, you can quietly support this podcast by liking the episode and staying with me until the end. Now, in the next part, we will talk about the main problem many beginners face with consistency, and I will show you how to stay consistent even when motivation is low. Stay with me. You are doing very well. Now, let's talk about the real problem behind consistency. Many English learners say something like this. I start, but I don't continue. I practice for some days, then I stop. I lose the habit. If you feel this way, listen carefully. The problem is not that you stop. Stopping is human. The real problem is how you restart. Most people think consistency means never stopping. But that is not true. Real consistency means coming back. Life is not stable. Your energy is not stable. Your schedule is not stable. So your English routine cannot be rigid. If your routine breaks when life changes, it is too fragile. We want a routine that bends, not breaks. Let me explain this in a simple way. If your English plan is 1 hour every day, then one busy day can destroy it. But if your plan is a few minutes when I can, then nothing can destroy it. Consistency grows when your routine is flexible. Now, let's talk about a common thought. Many learners say, if I don't practice every day, what is the point? This thought is dangerous. Because it creates an all-or-nothing mindset. Either perfect or nothing. But language does not grow like that. Language grows like a plant. Some days you water it a lot. Some days only a little. But you don't stop forever. Even small care keeps it alive. Let's do a short practice. Listen. Something is always better than nothing. Now repeat. Something is always better than nothing. Good. That sentence can change your relationship with English. Now, let's talk about another reason consistency feels hard. Many learners attach English to willpower. They think, I must force myself. But willpower is limited. It runs out. Habits work differently. Habits do not need force. They need simplicity. If English practice is easy to start, you will do it more often. If it feels heavy, your brain avoids it. So the goal is not motivation. The goal is low resistance. Low resistance means short sessions, clear actions, no decision making. You don't ask, should I practice? You just begin. Even for 1 minute. Let me say this clearly. Consistency is not about how long you practice. It is about how often you return. Now, let's imagine 2 learners. The first learner studies 1 hour, once a week. The second learner practices 5 minutes, almost every day. After some months, who improves more? Usually, the second learner. Because repetition matters more than duration. Let's practice another sentence. Listen. Short and frequent practice helps me grow. Now repeat. Short and frequent practice helps me grow. Very good. Now, I want to address something emotional. Many learners feel shame when they stop practicing. They think, I failed again. Shame makes restarting harder. So we remove shame. Stopping is not failure. Quitting forever is the only failure. And you are not quitting. You are here. Listening. Repeating. Trying again. That matters. Let me give you a new way to think. Instead of saying, I stopped, say, I am restarting. That small change makes a big difference. Let's practice it. Listen. I am restarting, and that is okay. Now repeat. I am restarting, and that is okay. Good. In Daily English Whisper, we believe learning should feel safe. You don't need to punish yourself. You don't need to be strict. You need to be kind and consistent. Kindness helps you return. Harsh rules push you away. Now, in the next part, I will give you the first simple way to stay consistent with English motivation. A way that works even on low-energy days. A way that fits real life. Stay with me. You are building something quietly and steadily. Now, let's talk about the first simple way to stay consistent with English. This way is very important. And it is very gentle. The first way is this. Lower the minimum. Many learners stop because their minimum is too high. They say, I will study for 30 minutes. Or, I will finish 1 full lesson. And when they don't have time or energy, they do nothing. So instead of raising your goals, we lower them. Your new goal is not 30 minutes. Your new goal is 1 small action. 1 sentence. 1 minute. 1 short moment. That is enough. Lowering the minimum does not mean you are lazy. It means you are smart. You are working with real life, not against it. Let me explain how this works. Imagine you tell yourself, today, I only need to listen to English for 1 minute. Your brain feels safe. There is no pressure. And very often, after 1 minute. You continue. But even if you don't continue, the minute still counts. Let's do a short practice together. Listen. 1 minute is enough for today. Now repeat. 1 minute is enough for today. Good. This sentence removes pressure. Now, let's look at a real example. You come home tired. Your body feels heavy. Your mind feels full. Old thinking says, I should study, but I don't have energy. New thinking says, I will do one small thing. You play English audio. You repeat one sentence. That's it. And something important happens. You keep the habit alive. Consistency is not built with big days. It is built with small days that don't break the chain. Let me say this clearly. Missing one big session is not a problem. Breaking the habit for many days is the problem. Lowering the minimum protects the habit. Now, let's practice another sentence. Listen. I protect my habit with small actions. Now repeat. I protect my habit with small actions. Very good. Another reason this way works is emotional. When your goal is small, you succeed more often. Success feels good. Success creates motivation. Failure creates resistance. So we design practice for success. Not for impressing anyone. Not for speed. For continuation. Now, I want to remind you of something important. Some days, you will do more than the minimum. That is great. Some days, you will do only the minimum. That is also great. Both days move you forward. Let me give you a simple image. Think of English like a door. If the door is heavy, you don't open it. If the door is light, you open it often. Lowering the minimum makes the door light. Now, let's do another short practice. Listen. I make English easy to start. Now repeat. I make English easy to start. Good. That sentence is powerful. Because starting is the hardest part. Once you start, continuing is easier. Now, I want to ask you something gently. What feels possible for you today? One sentence? 1 minute? One short audio? Choose that. Not tomorrow. Today. You don't need to decide for the future. You only decide for now. This way removes fear. Fear of failing. Fear of stopping again. You stop worrying about the future and focus on the present. And the present is manageable. Before we move on, let's repeat one more sentence together. Listen. I show up in small ways, and that is enough. Now repeat. I show up in small ways, and that is enough. Very good. In the next part, I will share the second way to stay motivated with English. This one is about connecting English to your daily life, so it feels natural and not forced. Stay with me. You are doing something important, even if it feels small. Now, let's move to the second way to stay consistent and motivated with English. This way is very powerful, and at the same time, very simple. The second way is this. Connect English to something you already do every day. Many learners try to add English on top of their life. They say, I need extra time. They say, I need a special moment. But life is already full. So instead of adding English, we attach English. You take something you already do, and you add a little English to it. This removes effort. This removes decisions. Let me explain with real examples. You drink coffee or tea. You can listen to English while you drink. You walk somewhere. You can listen and repeat one sentence. You cook. You can play English audio in the background. You don't change your life. You change the language inside your life. This is very important. Habits grow when they are connected to other habits. Let's do a short practice. Listen. I connect English to my daily life. Now repeat. I connect English to my daily life. Good. This way works because it removes the question. When should I study? You already know when. When you drink coffee. When you walk. When you rest. Now, let's look at a simple moment. You wake up in the morning. Before checking your phone, you listen to one English sentence. Just one. You repeat it softly. That's enough. Or at night, before sleeping, you repeat one calm sentence. You don't study. You don't analyze. You repeat. Let's practice a morning-style sentence. Listen. This morning, I choose to continue. Now repeat. This morning, I choose to continue. Very good. Now a night-style sentence. Listen. Tonight, I am proud of my effort. Now repeat. Tonight, I am proud of my effort. Good. These small moments create emotional connection. English stops feeling like work. It starts feeling personal. Another example. You clean your house. You feel bored. You turn on English audio. Instead of thinking, I must understand everything, you think, I will repeat one sentence. That's it. No pressure. Now, let me say something important. When you attach English to daily life, motivation grows naturally. You don't wait to feel motivated. You let English appear. And when English appears often, motivation follows. This is how habits form. Now, I want to address a common fear. Some learners think, if I practice English like this, is it enough? Yes. Because consistency beats intensity. 5 calm minutes every day are stronger than 1 strong hour once a week. Let's repeat that idea. Listen. Consistency is stronger than intensity. Now repeat. Consistency is stronger than intensity. Very good. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine English becoming normal in your life. Not exciting. Not stressful. Just normal. You hear it. You repeat it. You move on. That is how fluent people live with language. Now, before we move to the next part, I want to gently invite you to reflect. Which daily activity can you connect English to? Walking? Drinking coffee? Resting at night? You don't need to answer now. Just notice. And if this episode is helping you feel calmer and more hopeful, you can quietly support this podcast by staying with me and listening until the end. In the next part, we will talk about the third way to stay motivated. This one is about changing how you talk to yourself when learning English. Stay with me. You are building consistency in a very human way. Now, let's move to the third way to stay consistent and motivated with English. This way is quiet, but very powerful. The third way is this. Change how you talk to yourself about English. Many learners don't notice this, but their inner voice is very strong. You may say things like, I am bad at English. I forget everything. I am too slow. I always stop. These sentences feel small, but they shape how you feel. And how you feel shapes what you do. If your inner voice is hard, learning feels heavy. If your inner voice is kind, learning feels possible. So we don't fight ourselves. We guide ourselves. Let me explain. You don't need to lie to yourself. You don't need to say, I am perfect. You say something true and gentle. Something realistic. For example, instead of saying, I am bad at English, you say, I am learning, and learning takes time. Let's practice that together. Listen. I am learning, and learning takes time. Now repeat. I am learning, and learning takes time. Good. That sentence creates patience. Now, instead of saying, I stopped again, you say, I am starting again. Let's practice. I am starting again. Repeat. I am starting again. Very good. This small change removes shame. Shame makes you stop. Kindness helps you return. Now, let's talk about another common thought. Some learners say, I am not consistent. But consistency is not a personality trait. It is a skill. And skills can be trained. You don't need to be consistent. You need to practice consistency. That means small actions, repeated often. Let's practice another sentence. Listen. I am practicing consistency. Now repeat. I am practicing consistency. Good. When you change your self-talk, something important happens. You stop fighting yourself. You start supporting yourself. And support creates energy. Now, let me give you a simple tool. When you miss a day, don't ask, why am I like this? Ask, what is the smallest step I can take now? That question moves you forward. Let's practice it. Listen. What is the smallest step I can take now? Now repeat. What is the smallest step I can take now? Excellent. This question removes pressure. It brings you back to action. Now, I want to talk about comparison. Many learners compare themselves to others. They see people speaking fast. They see progress online. And their inner voice says, I am behind. But there is no behind. There is only your path. Your life. Your rhythm. Your energy. So we change that voice. Instead of saying, they are better than me, you say, they are on a different path. Let's practice. They are on a different path. Repeat. They are on a different path. Good. This protects your motivation. Now, I want to share something very important. Motivation grows when learning feels emotionally safe. If English feels like punishment, you avoid it. If English feels like care, you return. Your inner voice decides that feeling. So speak to yourself like a calm teacher. Like a friend. Not like a judge. Let's do one more gentle practice. Listen. I allow myself to learn slowly. Now repeat. I allow myself to learn slowly. Very good. Slow learning is strong learning. Fast learning often breaks. Slow learning stays. Before we move on, I want to gently invite you to reflect. How do you talk to yourself when learning English? Harshly? Or kindly? You don't need to change everything today. Just notice. And if this episode helps you feel supported, you can leave a simple comment later, like, I am learning slowly. Or, I am restarting. Your words can help someone else feel less alone. In the next part, we will talk about the last main way to stay motivated and consistent. This one is about identity, who you are becoming as an English learner. Stay with me. You are building something deeper than motivation. Now, let's move to the last main way to stay motivated and consistent with English. This way is deeper. And it lasts longer. The last way is this. Stop seeing English as something you do, and start seeing it as part of who you are. Many learners think, I study English. Or, I try to practice English. But fluent speakers think differently. They don't say, I study. They say, I use. English is not a project. It is a part of life. When English becomes part of your identity, motivation changes. You don't ask, do I feel motivated today? You ask, how do I live with English today? This shift is very important. Let me explain in a simple way. A person who runs sometimes says, I try to run. A runner says, I run. They don't run every day. They don't run perfectly. But they see running as part of who they are. English works the same way. You don't need to practice every day perfectly. You need to see yourself as an English learner who continues. Let's practice a sentence together. Listen. I am an English learner, and I continue. Now repeat. I am an English learner, and I continue. Very good. That sentence is powerful. Because identity shapes behavior. If you see yourself as someone who continues, you return even after stopping. Now, let's talk about a common fear. Some learners think, I can't say I am an English learner because I'm not good. But being a learner does not mean being good. It means being in the process. You don't need permission to call yourself a learner. You already are one. Let's practice another sentence. Listen. I am allowed to be a learner. Now repeat. I am allowed to be a learner. Good. When you accept this identity, pressure reduces. You stop trying to prove something. You stop trying to be fast. You focus on being present. Now, let me show you how identity works in daily life. When you wake up, instead of thinking, I should study English, you think, I am someone who touches English today. Touching English can be listening. Repeating one sentence. Thinking in English for a moment. Small actions confirm identity. And identity creates motivation. Not the other way around. Let's practice another sentence. Listen. I touch English in small ways every day. Now repeat. I touch English in small ways every day. Excellent. Now, I want to talk about one more thing. Many learners wait to feel confident before they act. But confidence does not come first. Identity comes first. You act like a learner. You repeat. You return. Then confidence grows naturally. Confidence is a result, not a requirement. Let's practice that idea. Listen. Confidence grows after practice. Now repeat. Confidence grows after practice. Good. Now, think about this. If someone asked you, are you learning English? You can answer, yes. Not, I try. Not, sometimes. Just, yes. Because you are here. Listening. Repeating. That is learning. This way of thinking protects motivation. Because you don't depend on feelings. You depend on identity. Even on bad days, identity stays. Before we move to the next part, take a moment. Notice how English feels now. Maybe calmer. Maybe closer. That is the effect of identity. In the next part, we will gently expand this idea into very small daily identity habits. Things you can do in minutes. Things that fit into a busy life. And then we will close this episode together. Stay with me. You are becoming someone who continues. Let's stay with this idea of identity. Not English as a task. But English is part of who you are. Now, I want to show you how this identity becomes real through very small daily actions. Not big habits. Not long routines. Small moments that quietly say, this is who I am. These are not rules. They are gentle invitations. Let's start with a simple one. The first micro-habit is speaking to yourself in English for a few seconds. You already talk to yourself. In your mind. When you plan. When you think. Now, sometimes, you switch the language. For example, when you stand up, you say softly, I am standing up. Let's repeat together. I am standing up. Good. When you sit down, you say, I am sitting down now. Repeat. I am sitting down now. Very good. These sentences are simple, but they connect English to your body. Your brain learns English is not only sound, it is action. Another microhabit is naming your day in English. Once a day, you describe your day with one short sentence. For example, today was busy. Or, today was calm. Let's practice. Today was calm. Now repeat. Today was calm. Good. You don't explain. You don't analyze. You just name. This builds clarity and confidence. Another gentle microhabit is repeating one sentence you like. Just one. It can be from this podcast, or from a video, or from your memory. You repeat the same sentence every day for a week. This repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity creates comfort. Let's choose one together. Listen. I am becoming more comfortable with English. Now repeat. I am becoming more comfortable with English. Very good. You can keep this sentence. Say it tomorrow. And the next day. Another microhabit is changing one small thing to English. Not everything. Just one thing. Maybe your phone shows today in English. Maybe your calendar. Maybe a note on your desk. When you see it, you read it aloud. Even one word counts. Exposure plus repetition equals growth. Now, let's talk about another microhabit. This one is very helpful for motivation. It is ending your day with one kind English sentence. Before sleeping, you say something gentle. For example, today, I did my best. Or, I am proud that I continued. Let's practice one. Listen. Today, I am proud that I continued. Now repeat. Today, I am proud that I continued. Good. This sentence changes how your brain remembers the day. Instead of focusing on what you didn't do, you remember what you did. That builds motivation for tomorrow. Another small habit is listening without pressure. Some days, you don't repeat. You just listen. And that's okay. Listening still feeds your brain. You don't force yourself. You stay connected. Identity does not require perfection. It requires presence. Now, let me remind you of something important. You don't need to do all these micro habits. Choose one. Maybe two. That is enough. English does not grow faster when you do more. It grows stronger when you return often. These micro habits are not about speed. They are about continuity. Every small action says, I am someone who lives with English. And that sentence changes everything. Before we move to the final part, let's do one more practice together. Listen. English is part of my daily life. Now repeat. English is part of my daily life. Very good. Let that sentence stay with you. In the final part, we will bring everything together. We will summarize the heart of this episode. And we will close gently, with a message for your future self as an English learner. Stay with me. This last part is important. Now, let's slow down for a moment. You've been here. You've been listening. You've been present. And that already matters more than you think. Today, we talked about beginner motivation for English learners. Not motivation as excitement. Not motivation as pressure. But motivation as continuation. We talked about staying consistent. Not by doing more, but by doing less, more often. You learned that motivation is not something you wait for. It is something you build. You build it by showing up. Even when you feel tired. Even when you feel unsure. Especially then. Let's bring everything together into one simple idea. This is the heart of today's episode. I continue, even in small ways. Let me say it again. I continue, even in small ways. Now you repeat. I continue, even in small ways. Very good. That sentence is powerful because it removes pressure. You don't promise big things. You don't make strict rules. You simply continue. Some days, continuing means 5 minutes. Some days, it means one sentence. Some days, it means listening quietly. All of it counts. You also learned that consistency is not about never stopping. It is about always returning. Life will interrupt you. Energy will go up and down. That is normal. What matters is that English stays nearby. Not perfect, but present. We talked about changing how you speak to yourself. About replacing harsh words with kinder ones. Instead of saying, I'm bad at English, you say, I am learning. Instead of saying, I failed again, you say, I am restarting. These small changes protect your motivation. And we talked about identity. Not English as a task, but English as part of who you are. You don't need to be fluent to call yourself a learner. You are a learner because you continue. Even today. You can carry English with you in small moments. One sentence while walking. One word while waiting. One calm thought before sleeping. This is how English becomes natural. Not fast. Not perfect. But yours. Before we finish, let's do one last gentle practice together. Listen. I am proud that I did not quit. Now repeat. I am proud that I did not quit. Good. That sentence is true. Because quitting means leaving forever. And you didn't leave. You stayed. You listened. You tried. That takes courage. I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Not fluent. Not perfect. But calmer. More comfortable. Less afraid. That future is built from moments like this one. Quiet moments. Small decisions. Gentle repetition. and you are already on that path. If this episode helped you feel supported, calmer, or more hopeful, I invite you to stay connected. You can subscribe to Daily English Whisper and continue learning with me in this slow, friendly way. New episodes. Simple English. No pressure. And if you want, you can leave a short comment later. Just one sentence. Something like, I will continue. Or, I am restarting. Your words might help someone else feel less alone. Before we say goodbye, I want you to hear this clearly. I am proud of you. Not because you are perfect, but because you continue. My name is Alex. This is Daily English Whisper. Take care of yourself. Be kind to your learning. And I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.